Okay, cool. So we can continue with our afternoon session. So we have a few queries and requests, which we will get to. But first, I wanted to show you a bit of a demonstration, and all the things you can do with Ubuntu terminal or Linux that you might not have thought of before. So as you can imagine, looking at a terminal screen with just text all day, your imagination must run wild. And as you can think, over the years, people have come up with crazy ideas and things to spend their time with on a terminal. So this is kind of more of a fun thing to see all the things that people have done. So I won't be using Git Bash to demonstrate that. I have an Ubuntu terminal installed in Windows that I'll be using to demonstrate. And I made it. Let me just share my screen here. This is a simulation of a Ubuntu terminal installed using WSL or Windows Subsystem for Linux. So yeah, so this is just like a fun thing just to show you some crazy stuff that people have done over the years. And the first thing I'm going to show you is CMatrix. Whoa, that's so cool. All right, so people wrote, somebody wrote an application, so your background looks like, from the Matrix. Yeah, that's all it actually does. So thumbs up if you like it. Let's look at a few other examples. I don't think I'm stuck. Oh, I got out of the Matrix. Thank goodness. Okay, I thought I was stuck in that train, train station, but I guess not. Okay, the other thing the other thing was a fire. It's called a fire, I think. This supposed to be a fire was not coming up too nicely on my side. Let me try that again. Maybe the screen was a bit too big. A fire. There we go. It's a fire. It's building up. So if you have a lot of time on your hands, you're feeling pretty bored, you can be very creative. People have made like games and movies just using the terminal like this. Okay. The other one I wanted to show you, I think it's SL, Choo-choo train. Really, how bored do you have to be to make a train like that? And again, I think there's different options as well, like one that doesn't fire or something. I don't know. SL and if okay, let's see what other ones I have here. I think it's this is one is like a more text-based one. So let me we can get a fortune. So a day for firm decisions, or is it? So I can get some random advice, that will Ubuntu will just pop out. Don't look now, but there's a multi-legged creature on your shoulder. Yeah, my favorite is still the Matrix one, but I mean, you can play around with it. You won't be able to do this on Git Bash too easily. You have to have a Ubuntu or any kind of Linux terminal to really access all the features of it. So I can't really use it as is. Tetris, yes, I have to make that. What was a fire command? You have to install that app. Yeah, it's a script that it's not built into Linux. You have to install an app to do that. So all these are applications that install beforehand. And Tetris, probably had installed it as well, but yeah, but I'll share the link. If you have an Ubuntu version, you can try it out. This is called Funny Linux Commands. Let me just put that here and check it out. Okay. Yeah, so this is again, I'm not going to show this. This was a actual Ubuntu terminal simulation of it running in Windows. That's why I could do it. But let's get back to Git Bash. So there was a few requests for this afternoon. And one thing I'm going to show you before we do something else, well, to cover those, is to kind of bring together what we've done for the past few days in Python and kind of relate it to this over here, Bash terminals. So lo and behold, you can actually run Python in the terminal. Who would have thought of that? Okay. And how do we do that? Because how we set it up, normally on a terminal, you would, for example, on a Ubuntu terminal like this one over here, let's clear this over there. Depending what version you're running, you can just type Python or Python 3, hopefully, yeah. If you do that, it'll pop up with your console, almost identical console, well, to what we know in Spider. Okay, so to run Python in Git Bash, it's a little bit similar. The only thing you have to do is you first have to say winpty. It's like a Windows command you need to run Python to work. So winpty, then Python. And there you get a Python console in Git Bash. Pretty cool, right? Who would have thought of that? Okay, so what can you do with that? Right. So, well, what have we been doing for the past few days? Pandas. Well, let's see if we can actually get pandas in here as well. Import pandas as PD. Yep, there we go. Imagine that seems to be working fine. Now why don't we read in a CSV file? Let's read in the Irish data set, the one we always go back to. So df equals pd.read CSV. I think we can use a relative path. I think it's O2 iris.csv. Yeah, that seems to work. I didn't get any errors. And now let me print my data frame, and boom, there I get my data frame. Right, so we're combining Python with Bash. How cool is that? Pretty cool, right? Who would have thought of that? And furthermore, you can do the same commands that we've all been familiar with, .info, get information for all the columns. We can do .describe as well if we want. Sorry, describe, I misspelled it, describe like that. So all the commands that we've been used to for the past few weeks, we've been doing that in Git Bash, right? It opens up a terminal for you. You can run Python, and all the other commands you've done before is exactly the same. Right, so that's just something to take note of. All these things are actually linked when you start working with it at the end of the day. So yeah, so that's And in the same way, you can also run a Python file. You can create a Python file in the same way we did with, um, uh, in Spider, or creating a Python file in the Bash terminal using Nano. We can also create a Python file. So how do you do that? Let's just exit here. It's clear. So, well, actually, let's see. Okay, we'll just create one. So, Nano, pandas dash py. Import pandas as PD. If equals p2.read CSV, data o2 iris.csv, and just print put the data frame. That's it. Save it, Control X, Y, and enter. To run it, WinPty Python. Python and pandas. There we go. Ran the file and I get the same output instead of using a console-based the interactive terminal. Just ran created a file using Nano, a Python file, and ran it in Bash. So you can do the same thing. You can do the same thing in Ubuntu, or if you're running a Mac operating system in your terminal as well, the same process follows. So I just wanted to show you an example again of how these actually two aspects linked to what we've done in the first few days of this week, and then with Git Bash today as well. All right, so before we go on to those other requests that we had, I would like to test your knowledge of what you've been doing so far. So we have two quizzes. The first one, I think it's already uploaded. Quiz number 3 and 4. So quiz 3 should take you like next to no time. Quiz 4 is quite challenging. It's testing your knowledge about file management. So yeah, text editors and file management. So this one should take you some time to do. It'll test how well you understood the concept. So I'll give you a bit of an example of a folder structure, ask you a few questions about how it works. And yeah, let's see how far you get with that. It should take you some time just to test your understanding of what you've learned today. All right, so you can do those quizzes now, please, quiz 3 and quiz 4. Okay, I think before the tea break, we can go through the questions. I think mostly everybody has done. Yeah, I'm gonna show these questions as well, just to review some of the questions we had. So there was a problem with questions 3. I did confirm it, but everything else, all the other questions seems correct. So let's have a look at the questions here. Just give me a moment. Okay, answer the following questions. Which of the following commands could you use to navigate to your home directory, which is user's name? So which is the correct answer? What's the correct answer for the first one? In the chat, please. Last one. So 5. Yeah, we didn't really cover this in the lesson today, but you can use the tilde symbol to get to your home directory too. 7, 8, and 9. Okay. Question 2 is the following diagram below. What will this show? Okay, so actually I have that folder structure here. So let me open up my Git bash. So I can see it. Yeah. So let's just make sure that I have the correct folder structure. Let's see where I am. Let's go to CD users, PWD. Here that PWD. Okay, so what is let's just first see if I have all the folders in the correct, set up correctly. So what is that ls command to see folders recursively? What is that command? We did it earlier this morning. Not to show everything in the folders as well. One of the ls commands. Not in reverse. I just want to show all the contents. If I do ls, then I only see 2 folders. I want to see everything in those folders as well. Okay, so ls so I've got my 2 parent directories, backup and thing, which looks fine. In backup, I've got original and my 2 NAS files, final and sub. And then in original there's nothing, NAS file final is nothing, and NAS file sub is nothing. In thing, I have backup, which is correct, and in backup within thing, I have these 2 folders. So everything seems correct, and there's nothing in those. Okay, so everybody should be happy with that. Karen, I don't think I'll show that. Somebody needs to mute them. Sorry, so Karen, that OL won't work. Need to see things. You need a capital R parameter or argument to look at all the folder contents recursively. Okay, so for question 2, what is the correct answer? So this is the correct thing. So what does this say? Using the file system, if PW displays users thing. So where are we at the moment? Let's just have a look. Where are we? We are not in the correct place. We're in users, so we need to go into the next folder. So go cd thing. Okay, so now we are in the correct folder directory location. So what will lsf backup dash backup display? So let's go there, print it out, see what you get. So original, NAS final, and NAS sub, right? So those are the folders. So this should be the correct answer. Okay, question 3. So this one is actually incorrect. It didn't give the correct answer here. So what happened to my bash terminal? So using the following diagram below, if PWD is users backup, so we're not in the correct directory at the moment. We need to go back. We need to go to backup. So see if no, we're not in the right one. ls again, go to cd backup. Okay, now we're in the correct directory, which the question refers to users backup. If R tells ls to display things in reverse order, what commands will result in the following output? So what is the correct answer here? What is the correct answer for question 3? Or we can try it out. We can do each one and figure it out. So ll, no, doesn't give us that. Try this one. Well, that doesn't work. And this last one, ls, r, and f. That's the correct answer. The NAS file is an original, so this is the correct answer here. I think you might have gotten the wrong answer if you chose this one, but this one is this is the correct answer. So you might get it incorrect, but thank you for those that mentioned that it is wrong. Question 4. What's the answer for this one? So we're testing your moving skills, move sucrose. So what option is that? We can see. Sorry. Which option is that? The first one, okay. So you're just moving this, what we're moving, yeah, we moved in the wrong folder, so we're just trying to move it to the raw folder. Okay. Question 5, suppose you have suppose you have a spelling mistake. This should be, everybody should get this quite quickly. What is the answer for this one? Yeah, the first one again, we're just renaming. Question 6, so this is playing around with wildcards. So, so what is the correct one? Let me just check what Cheslin said. Cheslin, are you referring to question 5? Cheslin? Okay, Cheslin isn't responding. Question 4. Isn't it the 4th one? I don't know. You need to convince me. I just double checked the others. So another other one, question 3, had question marks about it. Question 4 is option 2. Okay. Let's see what happens. All right. What's the answer for question 6? Answer question 6. You say Q6 as in the answer for it because there's a bit of a confusion what the answers here. So question 6. So ls, so anything, so we're assuming this one. So anything can come before T, and then we are only expecting 2 single characters between T and NE, right? So let's see what happens. Question 7, a nice long questions given the following directory. Fill in the blanks to copy and backup. The third one. So just remember the answers are shuffled around. So it's not, wouldn't be the same as your answers. It's shuffled. The answers are shuffled around. If you can show me on the code, you can write out those file names and show it to me. You can do that. I don't mind. Which they should be correct. No, just DM me. Can't look at it now. Question 6. So you had 3 options to copy the correct files across to various folders. So which is the correct answer here? For question 7. Option number option 3. Okay. So copy everything. It just must have calibration.txt, but it can be anything before that to backup calibration. And copying all these dates that must start from the 11th of 2015 in November. So it can have any date in that in that month. Send it to this folder, and then the same way can have any month and year, and can have end in any way for data set. Okay, so let's see what we get. 9 out of 10, but yeah, this one, sorry, where was I? This one is actually correct. Sorry, this one, the correct answer is ls-r.f. Okay, thank you for that. We'll have our tea break now. And then we'll carry on with those few requests about Bash with the writing a Bash script and a few other queries and questions that some people had. If you have any queries about the answers here, you're more than welcome to send me the code that you had, or the answer that you had, and the file structure. But you can have a short tea break now until 3:15. Okay, cool. So let's carry on for the final session for today. There's a few questions, again, just to review something. So first one is just the WinPTY in Python. I had a few questions about that. So let's just first move to the correct directory, so I don't need that anymore. That's for something else. Open up. Okay, I think Raul asked, he tried to create a Python file, but then I can really see the mistake was, I think you probably typed this and then Python like that, and then you try to create the file here. But you can't create files here. This is just an interactive terminal, so you can't say pandas git bash, right? You can't say that, you're gonna get an error. You have to create the file outside of your interactive terminal. So to exit, it's control, I think control Z, right? I don't think I explained that, but control plus Z is to exit the terminal to go back to git bash. So control Z. Yep, there we go. Control Z will take you outside the terminal and back to your bash terminal. So that was one question. And the others were just about WinPTY again. So go Win. I created my Python file over here just with Nano, so I can open it again. And there's a very simple 3 lines of code that I'm sure everyone is used to already. So I created that with Nano. And then if I want to run it, to say WinPTY Python and then the file name. So if you're running a Linux or Ubuntu, or if you have Windows, if you have a Ubuntu terminal in Windows already, you don't need the WinPTY. That's a specific bash setup option that you chose, or that I asked you to use. But there's a reason for that. It's not really important to go into that now. But in any case, that's how you can run Python terminal and write files and run it. Okay, so there's a question about writing bash scripts. So we're going to briefly cover that. So why do we write a script? For the same reason we write anything. It's a list of instructions that we can create and we can reuse and ultimately automate things, right? So let's say if I can create a bash script. Again, I'm going to use Nano to create any file, just use Nano. And I can say my script.sh. So the important thing about any bash script or bash terminal script is it needs to end with .sh. Okay, it stands for shell, like a shell script. So enter. All right. So now we back into Nano, and the first thing we should do is add this shebang. Sometimes it comes up automatically. I'm not sure why it doesn't come up now. I think I have to do chmod probably for that. But to create a comment, just like a comment in Python, uses hash in the beginning. I think there's a space there. And then this is a comment. So the terminal will ignore this. Okay. Now let's write a line of terminal, a command. For example, we can start with hello world, right? So echo. So echo hello world. Terrible color. I can't even see that. Hello world. Okay, so I'm gonna save it. So has everybody gotten to that stage just yet? Yes, Raul, you first create your Python file in the terminal. Yes, first your create file in terminal with nano, then run it afterwards. Okay, so if you've gotten this, then I can just save it. So Control X, press Y, and then enter. And if I see the contents of the file, myscript.sh, this is the contents of the file. So quite importantly, this is just the first line of a bash script is called the shebang. And it points to the location of the program or binary that will be used to execute the script. That's just for information. Don't have to know anything more about that. The rest is just a comment. So again, don't really have to worry about that. The bash terminal will just ignore everything that has a comment in it. And the only thing we're actually doing with the script is running this command echo hello world. If you save it, the next step is to run another command to make sure it's executable. So for that, we use a command chmod u+x and a file name. If we actually first look at the file itself before we actually do that, see it's myscript.sh. And now if we do chmod, I think +x should also work, but this is u+x and my script. Clear NLS. So that you only do once. You only change. You only make it executable once with a chmod command. Once it's done, once you've done that, then you input a dot, backslash, and the script name. If you run it, then it'll pop out. It'll run that command, and output of the command is just hello world. Okay, and that's pretty much the fundamental steps to writing a bash script. Okay, so usually what happens, there's usually some inputs and outputs that you will manage with writing a bash script. So sometimes you want to, as Krishna said, load multiple jobs at a time, or read in data. So there's and manipulate it and do many things with it, to be honest. Sorry. What are the meetings for u+x? I can't remember actually, to be honest. Normally, what is it? That's for x, right? What is it? What does the u do again? The user makes it for yourself. So would it have been useful if I did a ll and see the user permissions before that? If you do ll, then let me just do it again. So let's actually get into a single. Let's just do that again so I can see what happens. This was creating maybe a smaller folder so I don't see all that other stuff. Let's create a folder called bash scripts. Go into bash scripts. So we're there at the moment. There's nothing at the moment there. So let's create another one. So let's go nano script2.sh. So what is it again? It's bin then bash, then like echo hello world. I need to change my font. This is probably legible. Save and run that. Okay, so let's do a hello and okay. Sorry. I mean a Python one. You just compare the two. Okay. So then nano like a Python file, py print hello world. Save that. Okay, so now let's change it. So clear ls again. So now let's do so U is for user and plus X is to make it indicates that the execution permission is being added for the specified user. Okay. All right. So U plus X and then the script sh. Okay, well you mean for the Python file I should do it? Okay, Python file. Oh well. I think probably because of admin rights doesn't really make a difference to the user that I'm with. But in any case, this I can add the steps again to create a bash script and run it. But again, there are other cases where you might want to use other features of a bash script, or if you have certain commands that you want to input and output. So, for example, we can do an input and output script where you have or a script that accepts inputs to the file. So, for example, you have sh, so bin bash. Then you say echo, please. What is the year? Like that. And read year. Echo, the year is dollar, yeah. So if, let's check what I have here again. Yeah, I expected that. With git bash, you don't actually have to run the chmod command. That's why it's green like that. If you're running Ubuntu, then you have to do that process. I should remember it now. So what is the year? So 2024. The year is 2024. So again, you can obviously expand this to do a lot more. But that's pretty much how you write a bash script. Leander, what's the difference between running the bash script using the commands script.sh and what you've done now? What difference? I'm not sure what you mean. What did I do now? That's different. I created a file and I just ran the contents really of the file. Okay, so while you're typing, I'm going to do the next example that somebody asked about, which is Sid and awk. Briefly do a quick example. If you want to, for example, change content in a file itself, you can use sed. So the sed command. So let's look for the example I had somewhere. No, it wasn't here. Well, let's stay in the bash scripts file. Let's create another file called Linux beginnings txt, and so Linux was invented in 1991 by Linus Torvalds. Linux, the OS operating system. Linux is written in C. So an arbitrary example, if we want to maybe change this let over here, if we want to change this capital L or the capital L's for Linux to a small L over here, I'll just give one use case example. You can obviously do a lot with the sed command or sed command. So sed. So the -e is to make a change and display the result. So S tells us to look through every line of text. And then -Linux says look for every word, look for the word Linux, and then replace it with this word Linux. And then G, do this for all instances it finds. Okay, and the file itself is Linux beginnings. There we go. We replace this word, the capital Linux, with a small, just starting with a other word Linux. So maybe this is a very good example. I mean, we can change it with, now this would be small L and maybe Windows. Maybe this would kind of keep it clearer. Why didn't it change? Now it's back to where it was. Get Linux beginnings. Oh, that's weird. Let me just go back to that again. So cat Linux beginnings is that, and then the example I had here was this one. There we go. So it replaced Linux. This word found all the examples and replaced it with the small Linux. So literally just replaced it. Okay, then somebody asked about an awk example. So what is awk for? So awk is a tool to kind of extract content from a file and display it. So let me create another file just as an example file. So we have nano, say names.txt, and we have John is 25, this is 30, Bob is 22, Charlie is 35. And what you want to do now is extract certain values from this. So what the awk command does, if you go awk help, get various options for it, but it breaks each line into fields, so you can access, name and age separately and print it to the command line. So if we have, let's just list that again. So that's the data we have, but let's maybe print it out in a different format, right? So what you can do is say awk, curly brackets, print name, star, $1, page, $2. Let's hope that works. And then for the file of name.txt. Okay, so there we go. So awk again just extracts information from you and allows you to print it out in a certain way and certain format. Yeah, so it's a useful, again, Bash has a lot of features, a lot of features that you can use, and manipulate files with it. Sarah, how do we use a Bash script to run the same command on multiple files? I don't have an example for you yet, but maybe Krishna can do that next week, Friday. He probably has more examples of that, so I'll let him do it for you. Another request was connecting to a server. So there is a demo server that you can access that I did find. Let me just share it with you so you know what I'm talking about. I can't get the name of it now, but I can show you how to log into it. So to log into a server, I have the IP address here. So it's a demo, it's a free demo test server that you can log into. So let me just clear this. So you should be able to test this on your side as well. I say SSH. So SSH stands for Secure Shell if you need to connect to a remote server. So demo at 194.108.117.16. Password is password, small p. And then we can, okay, there we go. So Rebec's virtual shell, it's a very basic server. It has very few commands on it that you can actually do. We go to list, it has 2 files, publications and a readme.txt. And yeah, so basically we've logged into a remote server using Bash. And this is a very common task that you'll do. You want to log into a data center, the CHPC's cluster. This is a common task that you'll need to do to log into it. You use SSH to do that. So something you might want to also, a common operation that you'll do is maybe if you want to copy data from your server or from one server to another, what you'll use is secure copy or SCP. So for example, I see there's a text file .readme.txt. So let me copy that to my local computer. So how do I do that? Let me exit the server. Oh, I have to say exit. Okay, so you can test this yourself. You can do SSH. It's a test server, so you should be able to try this on your own machine, and you should be able to connect to it. So that's the command. The password is a small p. So password is small p. And then if I want to copy that README file, see where I am. I'm going to copy that README file. I can do, just clear that again. So let me just copy that. Want to try it? I'll just put it in Slack. Just clear it. Let me, if I use the SCP, just secure copy. open network. The username is demo at the IP address 194.8.117.16. And I just want the README file, txt. And the dot just refers to the location that I want to copy it to. So the dot in terms of the syntax just means right here. So in this directory I'm currently in, copy it there, say enter, ask for the password. And it's basically copying it, a small file. And let's see what the contents of the file is. So cat readme. This is welcome to the site. You've connected to SFTP server, used for testing purposes. Only read access is allowed. Yeah, you can go to the site as well to check it out. So I was just really using for testing purposes. Yeah, so again, common commands you'll use secure copy and SSH to log in. Many times you won't really be you shouldn't really be using a username password. You would create call it SSH keys to actually log in. But you know, that's something else. It's another process that you have to do, but SSH keys would be more preferable and obviously more secure. But yeah, I think that's all the requests I had for today. So I think we can leave early. I don't see any questions or comments in the chat. So I think we can end early today again, about 20 minutes early. And yeah, so that's it for today. Thank you so much. Hopefully you learned something, or this is probably a recap for you or complete waste of time if you never plan on using Bash or using Linux. But again, this is something you've done, at least you've seen something about Linux and using a Bash terminal. And yeah, you might in future use it at some point. Okay, thank you so much. And we'll see each other tomorrow morning.